Alrighty, we should be good. Alrighty. I'm gonna use the little screen today. Today we're gonna be doing. See if we can find a way to kind of get this up to island. So I'm working on a selector, a dynamic selector for the NPC ships that are flying around, so we can kind of go and test the actual economy, and we'll kind of see where we get with this today. I have like 2 hours that we're going to kind of push into it. There's a few things I want to get going. I want to get selecting the closest ship. So we can get the stats, like why this pirate ship is dead and what it's waiting for. So there should be a salvage ship, you know, queued up to come get it. And we want to be able to kind of watch. I also want to be able to slow down and speed up the economy. Like I can pause it. So we need to kind of be able to visualize like each of the station, what the inventory levels are. And it's also very hard to see it on the screen because they're so tiny. Yeah, maybe we need to change the highlight color to match the chip color. It's not helping that we have transaction debugging that I'm kind of working on here, happening over it. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. I don't know if I actually need... Oh yeah, they're all going to be selectable. I'm going to get the parent. Let's get YouTube chat up on the streaming PC, shall we? Let me know if the audio is even loud enough. I think I turned it down earlier. There we go. Yes, they'll all be selectable nodes. So they'll all have a parent. Yep, station refinery. Yeah, maybe we'll do like a custom side inspector. Hey, JC, how's it going? Yeah, that'll work. I'm on your YouTube stream. I'm working on a like a high performance. I was gonna like, I don't know, for the economy simulation for what I want to do with this. Creating like an octree system and using like some type of binary partitioning is a little bit overkill. But I wanted to find a very high performant way of interacting with these virtual NPCs and these yeah, I figured. Because I want to be able to select them. I want to know like which one am I like kind of, you know, moving around and what's their deal, right? Each one of these virtual NPCs has a economy, very basic inventory system where it's just a combination of a GUID of the type of commodity they're taking and an amount, right? So very small serializable data that's being used, moving around between station to station dynamically. And the idea is there's a very simple set of behavior, right? We have space trucking NPCs moving from station to station, moving hydrogen around as these individual gas volumes are spawning. We get some gas mining ships that are kind of going and actually taking those yields, bringing them over to the nearest refinery station, which is over here now. I moved it around. So I want to see like what's actually being, is that fitting in the screen? It is, okay, good. Right, so, you know, what's actually being like, you know, processed here. And, you know, that's kind of my idea, just to break from some of the other stuff I'm working on. And be able to kind of see like, you know, so I made a simple little node system where I can add like a selectable to any object, because these are just nodes, they're not like physics objects or anything like that, but they do have a static body 3D sphere shape attached to them, which is like the most performant, you know, physics body. So they're moving around on process, but they're yeah, they're very basic. They're, you know, it's designed to run like 1,000 of these in the background, you know, by implementation anyway. Yeah, so I started creating a transaction ledger, and I started creating like a dynamic kind of like a graphing system, and really do some UI, kind of like figure out like what it is that I'm actually yeah, that's one of the other refineries. That one's actually selecting. But I like building in-game UI tools for like testing this kind of stuff because it makes more sense. So we are going to work, you know, so way this system works now, we just had a refinery. We have all the refinery game logic. There is a select and deselect, which is coming in from our iSelectable interface, but it's not something that I'm going to turn volume down a bit. I think my volume is a little bit too high. But the idea for this particular debugging is I don't want to really mess with the original base class. I want to do like, you know, if I have a selector, the selector is controlling this extra mesh that I've created, which have shared materials. So there's not really much of a cost. And the selector is, you know, toggling that off and on, you know, automatically. So I'm not actually really hitting the refinery. I'm actually selecting its inner object, and then it's propagating to its parent. If it is an iSelectable, that we're going to run a deselect, or if the parent is an iSelectable, then we'll run the select itself. Does Godot have the equivalent of scriptable objects? Yep, they're called resources, and they're actually exactly the same. They're actually really good. Like in the original Unforgiven Space project, let me go into Unforgiven systems, and I'll show you how they're exactly the same. So here is, you know, my main test project for Unforgiven systems. If I'm running at 900p, I'm not sure what I'm streaming at, but so in Godot, you have resources, right? So if I go to a commodity resource, right? So this is a commodity resource. It works exactly like works this out. All right. So it works very much exactly like a scriptable object. You make it a global class, so that it's actually exposed as a native class in the inspector of Godot. And instead of serialized fields, you put export properties on anything you want to set. So here we have like an ID, a name, a description, a base weight, and we have a bunch of, you know, commodity types. The pack scene is more of defining a prefab, right? Maybe at some point you give me a 101 when we implement this. So, don't talk about it. Same idea. Oh, well, here's the thing. So a commodity resource is the commodity. I have a commodity. Let's jump to commodity item or shop. Yeah, so here's a shop item resource. And a shop item resource, they all inherit from resource in the same way of the game object or, you know, whatever scriptable object is. So here we have, like, you know, here's a shop item, and a shop item takes an item resource and sets the supply and demand of how many are actually in there. Here's the item itself, right? And you can define in the item like all kinds of extra stuff. So they're literally the same as a SO, right? Like, you know, cell size. You can put in like the textures. You can stick everything in there. And just to show you it in effect, here's a shop. Here's a commodity shop. So let me look at the item shops as an example. Here's item shop 01. And if you look, it has a unique GUID. All of this is just in the editor, right? Like I just right click, create a new shop, right? And because it's, I already know it's a global class, we can literally add it like a game object. So this will be an item shop resource. And I'm going to call it like Zen shop as an example. And I can give it a unique ID. I assume they have the same constraints as main thread as with the engine. I think so. And then I can just go create populated inventory, right? And I can just say I want a new shop item resource. We're gonna sell, let's say, a multi-tool. So here's my multi-tool game object. There's a supply of like 100 of them. So I'm just literally building out as a scriptable object, pretty much, you know, my own like all these different resources. We have our personal terminal, the multi-tool, and it's all saved. To interact with the engine, it must be on the main thread. I'm not sure. I assume so, but there is in Godot there are like ways. I know you can put physics process on a separate thread. You can also put a few other, like if you're manually doing mutexes in C#, I think you can fire things off on different threads. But as far as like main rendering goes, I know there's multi. Thread 3D. Run on separate thread. What is that for? Physics. What do you filter? It did not tell me where the threading. Use next threads. Slow power. Thread model is safe for rendering. Because you can do multi-thread or rendering. I wish once I select a category, if I unselect, it wouldn't filter it. But yeah, hey Dakota. Because this is what I was working on. I'm gonna squirrel here. But before new job, this is what I was doing. So I was building a new inventory system where I was finishing the physicalized. So this is like, you know, a shop. This is the same shop that we were just messing with. I can spawn in my physicalized items. I can interact with them. I can pull out my multi-tool. They're fully, you know, physicalized. And if I go into my inventory, I walk around and I loot them, right? It'll pick them up and put them in my physicalized inventory. You can jump up on this one here. Right, so I have 2 guns, And what I can do is I can actually like take these out of my inventory, drop them on the ground, and they just spawn in front of me. The trick is getting all this working in multiplayer, but you know, it's the I'll just put that one back. But yeah, you can unequip things, equip things. Hey, a loot goblin. How's it going, Pagan? Right, so yeah, just being able to loot everything, serialize it. It's cool stuff, dude. I'm gonna look in your stream and clean my kitchen. Alright, so let's go back to what we were doing. Pagan, we're actually doing the we're actually doing economy stuff today. We're building economy stuff, which means we're probably building UI stuff as well today, but I love money. So if you remember this from before, I've been adding additions to it. So check it out. I have this new system now that's kind of does like a high performance. It pretty much has like a predefined area, and it's already using Godot's like physics system for like binary partitioning for like performance. But it pretty much creates a predefined collection of nodes. And then the closest ones around the area here of my cursor are then like processed and in real time, and that's where you're seeing the little lines. So it's able to calculate the closest nodes in proximity of my cursor. And if I click, so we're going to pause the simulation here. So I want to be able to, right, select them. And you can't really select them, you know what I mean, if you're that close, but you can now, because as long as it's the closest thing that is selectable, it'll be valid for selection. Right, that's kind of the... And I know those lines are probably hard to see on the stream, but... Right, I can select... You can kind of tell by how graceful it is at selecting the pirate station. So I've been playing a lot of X4. Best thing I ever did was go buy X4. I bought the Community of Planets edition. And I've been playing it, and oh man, it's nice to play a fleshed out space game. And the fact that it's first person. And I started to think more and more about like, because originally Unforgiven Space was, you know, I was kind of aiming at that 2012 Star Citizen when it comes to like scope of things. But there's a lot of stuff it does right. A ton of stuff that it does right, actually. And I don't want to get into like station management or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, but if you take everything in X4 from a station management perspective, oh man, right? Like that's the goal. There's certain things I really like. I like the highways. I think the highways are cool. I think they kind of force players, if you want to take them, to kind of like you know, to use them, right? You don't have to, but you know, they kind of help you jump around station pretty quickly. But I don't like the ribbons of them. But I've always liked the concept, right? Very close to freelancer-esque, and so I had the idea of maybe what we can do to make things more in-lore and friendly, and not give you an out if you're being attacked too. But yeah, exactly, and they're fairly secure. So I think what I might do with them is do freelancer style jump gates as quantum boosters. So if your quantum drive or your warp drive is enabled, you know, within the system, for like, you know, super cruise, it will create a more stable, you know what I mean, like a more stable cruise. So you're not like, you know, spinning forever. So it works kind of like a booster, and we'd have like, I wouldn't have them like rings. I'd have them more like freelancer-esque, like kind of like it's creating its own little, not like a warp tunnel, because I don't want to create a massive visualization of it, but more like it's kind of helping you. You know what I mean? You know, ramp up your quantum. So if you're in Super Cruise or Quantum in Warp, and you hit those, they will kind of, they're almost like a bit of a, you know, like a controlled bubble, you know, within themselves. And I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, especially if certain segments of them could be disabled, and then you kind of come to a natural ramp down and a slow down. Are we making video games? How's it going, Pictures? Like we'd get a natural ramp down to a normal like quantum speed if one was out, and they could kind of be used to kind of, you know, if a group or a set of NPCs was crazy enough to lock down the highway, that you could kind of you know, you could kind of use it against you, but it would still be like, you know, risk versus reward. Right, so those are just kind of, you know, some of the you know, shower thoughts of like thinking about like, okay, we need to define, you know, what are the commodities? Like, what are the actual commodities? What's the yin and yang of things? And that's why I've been playing a lot of X4, and we realized that you can have a pretty simplistic formula. Like in X4, you know, there's not a lot of weapons. There's like an MK1 and MK2 of each weapon. There's like a high-end version and a low-end version. There's not that many. You know, of each type, but they're balanced enough. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with a lot of the commodity variations. Like, there's a lot of commodities in X4, but not too many, but they're all balanced in a you know, in a consumption production way. So it'd be cool to kind of really look at, like, you know, not like necessarily copy them, but, you know, commodity A, you know, commodity B, commodity C, like what are the different price ranges between them, like what makes them kind of unique. They could be called anything, right? But one thing X does quite well is balance out a lot of the high profit, you know, like low margin. Yeah, you can always add more weapons in a later update. Oh, of course, yeah, exactly. You can always, you know, you can always add more. But it was really nice. It's nice playing through it and seeing so much to do with so little. Like, it just, when you put everything together in X4, because it does have the hacking, even though it's basic. It's like looking at a ship. Like, it's the same type of thing that I'm working towards, but multiplayer, right? So I've been, you know, looking into, like, you know, even how they select things. Like, their star map is so good. Like, being able to, like, look at, you know, a place and get a UI and be like, oh, this is you know, what's being bought and what's being sold here, and how that kind of works, right? So I want to get some kind of some thumbnails and on-screen UIs and elements that can kind of help populate some of this data and help kind of, you know, do some kind of in-game. I'd say in-game, but in this, what I call, you know, space economy, in the simulation. I just wish we could travel. Yeah, and that's the other thing too about X4. If you take away the curtain, that even the planets aren't real. Like, it's all in X4. It's all skybox, and you're in a very little small map, where everything is shrunken down, right? Like you really are only in, you know, like you're really only traveling in high-speed mode for a very short period of time, and then you're done with that system and you're jumping into the next system. I do like that if you keep going, it expands. Like, you're really not in a hexagon. Like, it looks like it on Star Map, but you're an expanding independent system connected by jump gates. But they're only as big as they need to be for the economics, right? Which is great. Yeah, so we're gonna build a UI for this, and we'll kind of see how we go with it. I want to make a lot of this toggleable, and kind of, yeah, that's what. So it's just gonna be kind of gray box wireframe. And this is our debug HUD. Yeah, let's save. Yeah, let's go ahead and reparent this to a new node. Save scenes. This will be assets, prefab, UI. Will be our UI prefab. We're literally just going to be doing things exactly like it is done in the main game. And then we just have a UI to work with. Here we're going to build a little top panel, which we're going to use for like toggling the different options. So we're just going to go add a child. So first we're going to split everything. How do we want to do it? Or do we want to do that one as a hovering, always on top thing? Because I could... Yeah, I think I'm gonna do actually. There's a UI stopping me from doing something. Where is it? Hello, Godot. There you are. Yeah, so yeah, let's just do a floating panel. So let's do a panel. This will be called top panel or panel top. Not a lot of time, so we're gonna work quickly and effectively. So, and this one we're just gonna layout. We're gonna do a top, center top automatically for the alignment, and we're gonna give it a custom minimum size. We'll just say 400 because it's just gonna be like a manually thing. And for a theme, we're not going to worry about it. It's going to be just an automatic thing. And that's going to be our top panel. And then in our top panel, so we'll call it top panel UI. We're going to say hey, see Vertigo? How's it going? 1 second. Where's my Chatterino not actually working? Hey, oh boy, it's been great. Man, it's been so long. I'm actually working on a totally separate economic simulation, but this is one I showcased a while back. So here, let me close out this. A lot of the stuff that I'm working on here is kind of like, you know, separated into specific individual little projects that I'm using for testing out specific gameplay mechanics. So you're seeing like, you know, pretty much a ton of gray box of a bunch of different things. But here as an example, here's an economy simulation that I'm working on. So here as an example, we have 1,000 NPCs. So each one of these NPCs has different unique roles, and they drive the background economic simulation of the game. So in this system, in Unity I used to have all these kind of connected. They're not meant to be like, you know, this is all just data under the hood. But we have, you know, all these different stations. Each station has its own demand, its own needs, because that's a pirate station. We have a couple of pirates spawning, and each of these little pirates are looking for the nearest trader. And whatever cargo the little trader has, it's you know, it'll take that cargo if it wins the kind of the virtual dice roll, and it'll kind of bring it to the nearest market. But because there are pirates that are kind of moving around, there's also security that spawned to match the demand of the pirates. Yep, pretty much. You'll see here we have some pirates that are kind of heading towards traders. The system found that we have some, you know, asteroids. So we have these asteroid mining ships that are all heading over, grabbing the different ores, bringing them to the refinery station. Same thing over here. Once the system realizes it's all dynamic, it scales. There's only ever, you know, there's only ever 1,000 NPCs doing the simulation. So once they realize, hey, there's gas from the gas giant, and then all the gas gets brought over to this helium refinery station. Right, so everything is sped up, but all of these little green chips, those are salvage chips. The green chips are going towards any of the dead chips. So the idea is like a pirate can exist, attack a trader, take the trader's goods, security will kind of spawn, go after the pirate. If they fail, the pirate will bring the goods to the pirate station. If the security wins and destroys the pirate, the salvage claim will take the pirate and bring it to the nearest station. Self-cleaning, yeah. Right, so then all of the, you know, everything that's being bought and sold is actually like created through a natural consumption and production, depending on like the specific station needs of what's actually happening. So that's kind of the so that's what I'm working on today, is more like selectors and interfaces and stuff to just be able to keep testing this thing and kind of like pushing it forward. In the main game, I'm gonna... So I have everything right now in a little bit of limbo. I will show you... Yeah, because I've been working on some of the server mission, basic stuff. and I've been working on rewriting the zone system. This is like a test. Now, once again, this is like a complete kind of redo of, so this probably won't be that impressive, but because it's only a test. But check this out. We're gonna go and let me put this over here. There we go. And yeah, so I'll use this as a control. Bring these down. Post. So here we have our players. And once again, you're looking at some really gray box stuff here. Now notice the player has a little silhouette behind him. That's the physics version. That's the physically simulated version of the player. Right, so the player has all of its IK, crouch, move around. Right, you can see the capsule of the player and everything is on that kind of physical version. And what I want to do, hello other player, is we have our little cargo ship here flying around. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump out into the EVA here. Am I going to make it? Nope, not going to make it. I'm going to let it pass. Let me just kind of get ready to catch it here. There's a bug where and it's not like when you're entering these things, you usually always enter it through like a controlled zone, but there's colliders inside the zone that I don't know why I made this thing go so wide for like no reason. And have chat moves. Just give me 1 second. We'll see how smooth this will. Stop it. Make a more predictable path over here. Third person versus first person animations. I use pretty much first person animations for everything. Alright, we'll get it next time. I won't waste any more time. Mostly because for a lot of that stuff now with dynamic IK, you can do a lot of first person animations. Just use one animation set for pretty much both. No, come on. It's gonna go in reverse. I don't even have the EVA stuff in this. This is purely a zone testing system that have clearly failed to check it out. Now, this is a pure stable simulation. So what I mean by this is there is everything that's happening outside the zone. And now if we go take a look, our other player is completely stable. And if we and the concept behind this is very similar to CFAs. We have these stable physics zones that can be nested. Yeah, nobody would see anything, because if we go onto our little server here, I'm just gonna pop this up and just give me a second. Alright, so what we have with these is the server will stack these dynamic zones kind of like side by side. And now every one of the players that are actually inside the ship, right? They they have all of their physics happening in pure isolation, right? So ragdoll colliders and things like that, are only being seen by other entities that are inside the same physics zone. So that way, I could have, and you can have zones inside zones, just their physical, their visual version, their actor version of themselves, just exists in a nested fashion. But their zones are still just static and kind of stacked in the background on the server. And what's cool then is you can still take the data from the rigid body that is the visual representation of that thing, of the real ship, and you can translate some of those forces into the zone if you want it to. So you could do it with slight influence. So there is effectors, or things like, right, and that way too. The idea too. I gotta code a bunch of crap into this, but right, to exit this zone, in this case, I have extra, I can put extra colliders on the zones themselves, so there's no, concern about players ever like leaving them. They're kind of like they're here, and also have the physics system do a check to see if there's an inbounds. It doesn't have to happen very often, but just if there's some form of weird mismatch, they get placed back in the zone. But the only the exits, which are on the left and right, are the triggers to transition the player back into the true 64-bit world. And because these zones are also being at the origin on the on the server side, they usually will perform quite well. And then the idea is once the zone system is working really well, on the client side of things, we'll only ever kind of render and even have the actor version of the player, right? So when I am up in this zone and I'm actually a player doing what players do, right? Like I don't have a collider, you know what I mean, on my player. I don't have anything. I just have an animation tree. None of these walls are real, you know what I mean? Like I'm not actually bouncing into these. My my real player version of myself is my actor version. There's nothing. There's no colliders on any of this, right? I'm just making fun of your pronunciation of exit. The exit, right? And if I exit, look how graceful that is, right? And then entering the station zone, like from the side, like just boom, right? And everything is stable. Right. Right. So some of the things, I'll show you the main project here in just a bit. But some of the things that I'm doing with this is I'm creating these really interesting stations that are in orbit. I'm just wondering how else you would pronounce it. I mean, I've never heard it any other way. Why is my Chatterino? I gotta put Chatterino up here in my window here. I've never gotten organized. But anyway, look at yeah, and the economy stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get back to the economy stuff. The economy stuff is gonna be cool, but let's go into the game. Let's go into the actual game. Man, I've done so much, but yet there's also so much that need to be cleaned up for this build because it's stuck in a place right now where the inventory system is almost done, and the physicalized inventory system is all multiplayer netcode, and it's just taking a bit. And until the system is fully finished, it's hard to test. You'll get there, have faith. Oh no, I'll definitely get there. I also haven't found the artist yet that I want to hire. Too busy, man. Too busy adjusting to new work and just the just getting into the game dev juices, doing the switch over. Okay, empty test scene. So this is some of the performance testing stuff I'm working on with different instances. Every one of these have an interior. This is one of the medical stations, but we're going to use this. I haven't get up on SC, but this is going to be yet another feature that is fleshed out and finished before SC does. The zone system? The zone system will just work. I'm only going to use the zone system initially for ships. So when the server and what I'm doing is I'm kind of bundling them on the prefab. So inside a ship prefab, there's the zone and the actor of the ship, and then when the come on, let's go. And I have my performance back. Why is my free cam broke? What have I done? I was playing around with camera code. Oh, actual dynamic economy? Yes. Okay, so this is Unforgiven Space, and it's like most production-y form. So we have our character in, all crouching, because remember Unforgiven Space is like multiplayer stealth game. Right, I have, you know, some of the tools, maybe physicalized objects. I've showed a lot of this in Unity, but you know, things are now in Godot, and they're starting to work well in Godot. Some customization. Like, I'm just gonna go do this feel of, you know, customizing things and spawning them into the world. Right, so we have our object system. So we have like hab customizations. Right, custom gravity volumes. What's cool about the way that the new system will be, I made this place way too big. Showcase. Is that the zone system can handle gravity application, so it kind of kills two birds, one stone. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's Pagan, do you still have the old multiplayer build? Or do you have the latest build of Unforgiven Systems? Because I could actually show off the multiplayer. I don't know, like that. By latest, I mean whichever one we had last on the. Because even I like don't know where I am with stuff right now. But I'll probably just have to do another build just to. But yeah, we have free look. You can actually, you know, target. We have like you can see the interior of the ship. We have scanners. We can shoot. Missiles are working. I just shot off all my missiles. And I should be slowly heading towards the target. Yeah, I gotta increase the dead zone of thrust. Oh, I thought I shot my missiles, unless I don't have them. My Expedo has timestamp of 9. This game looks so awesome. Oh, thanks. Is it Frederick? Where's the where's the planet? We can go land on a planet. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, we have warp. I don't know why warp has its shadows enabled, but it's not supposed to. Yeah, it's like a Sea of Thieves in space, you know? Space trucking game. Yeah, I gotta turn off reuse shadows on that shader. It's funny. So yeah, let's I'll just do a side by side. That's what we'll do, and then we'll go back to work, just to show everything working together in multiplayer. And we'll use Fredry as an example. You're trying to remember your password? And nothing's even up right now even, so don't even worry about it right now. Not the most ergonomic view. Yeah, exactly. How long have you been working on this? Also, I follow, but I don't know what happened. Oh, no worries. 2 years now. Oh my god, it's not even giving me the UI. Did I just turn it off or something? Oh yeah, see, this is me, right? I was redoing the networking UI. Okay, so this is what we'll do. We'll do latest build. Because I don't even know if I finished the network menu. Oh, it's here. Okay, okay. Here we go. I got it. I got it. I got it. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. So I have a bunch of. So we're gonna do 2 clients. So I'm gonna host. So here we are. We have 50 NPCs. Ignore the fact I have a grenade in my hand, but I'm gonna connect as Feedry. And we'll pick a color. I'm gonna go with like maybe a green. So as you can see, it's the inventory system that I'm working on now. That's like kind of, you know, in making things interesting. But as you can see, I'm here. I'm with the server. I can crouch. All my animations are synced up, right? So you know, multi-tool, you know, handgun, the rifle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head over here and we're going to load in Fredbury's ship. So I'm just going to sit over here as a server. So put my gun away. Right, so here's my ship that I have authority of. I can like move it. I have access to it. I can pull off my components. Yep. So you can see that Fredbury is interacting with the seats. You can actually see that on the server. You can see the seat animations are synced up, and ignore like a couple of bugs right now, but there he is in the ship. I can actually head over and I can see that all the gimbals are working and that everything is firing. Yeah, it's like multi-stage. So we are going to head over here and I'm going to stop and I'm going to wait for server. So the server is going to go and spawn in their ship. Ideally, there's no server character. This is just like a control character for hosting right now. Hey, Bendy. Right, so here I am, you know what I mean? Like, I can see the other player here. Right, everything is working. Let me... Right, there's no lag. But hey, Hang on, let's go to a planet. Let's go to warp in multiplayer. I also think I disabled the seat. See, I'm there's so much stuff happening right now. So we're like super fast, and these are really, 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 really small worlds. But they'll. Oh, 1 second. Welcome to the stream, droid. Okay, so we are. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. So we're on the planet. We have full planetary gravity. So if I go and run, you'll see like the curvature of the planet will slowly kind of make the ship disappear because we're actually, you know, aligned to it. But anyway, let's go meet our friend. So you can see like the playground of everything is working. You know, where is? Yeah, so we're just gonna go find that player. I actually think they're in the middle. Oh no, they're there. Where is? Oh, there it is. And ignore the crazy, like, gravity being way too strong and just literally eating you into the planet, because that's a bug. Stop it. Let me go. Alright, where is my friend over here? So, yeah, you get the idea, right? We're on a planet. We have IK. It's working. Jupiter gravity, yeah, just crushingly, you know, dumb. Yeah, so that's like the idea behind Unforgiven Space, right? We just space game like Star Wars with ships, and you can, you know, go into different, you know, object containers, and we at least use the gravity. Something SC still hasn't completely. The idea. Remember, I still have that Godot bug. Actually, well, so Red, I technically fixed the Godot bug that I was having with Area 3Ds by finishing the object container system, because there's only ever an area trigger in the actor. So on an actor version of the ship, which is like the visual representation of a ship, there's an area 3D to trigger the entering of the object container or the zone which you're placed into, and once you're inside that zone, only the two triggers on the servers, you know, like version of the zone, bring you back to real space. So there's a full two-way link that's stable, so I don't need to worry about area 3Ds inside area 3Ds anymore, because that doesn't actually really happen. If you think about it, there's only ever like, like there can be like, you're inside a station visually, but you're not really, you're just inside the station zone, right? Ships can enter that station and you know, like their zone will enter the other zone, but they're not, you know, they're all just kind of flat aligned. Think about it. But yeah, the IK is actually not too bad. It needs more work. I'm waiting for I was waiting patiently. I really didn't want to do any first-person stuff until this came out, because way back when they were going to depreciate, so I've complained about this a lot. Hang on, isn't it here? 4 skeleton? No. Oh, beta 1. Hang on. Here. So, Skeleton IK 3D was being depreciated. So, myself and Punch, I don't remember Punch's full name now, we were exploring different bugs with their fabric system. Because, like, there's really weird issues where Bones can't do, like, a 180. That, like, there's weird, I don't know, like, there's weird issues with IK, anyway. and it just turned out to be just the implementation. And the idea was to get rid of skeleton IK 3D anyway and create bone modifiers. So the look at modifier 3D is going to be the new one that pretty much predates a lot of the skeleton IK stuff. Well, there's more modifiers. The idea is you just add modifiers to the skeleton, and then you put in your no, so the reason I'm so impressed is because I'm making quite a similar game. So I know how much work that this represents. It's a lot of like weird stuff on the multiplayer side and stuff like that too, right? It's wild. But this is great, right? .NET 8 by default. I've been using .NET 8 ever since Godot supported it. And of course, being able to test a lot of stuff in game. I'm really looking forward to 4.4. It's gonna be good, but there was something else. Well, there's a few other things, but this is the biggest one, is redoing the IK stuff. Because there was, I think in the last update, there's something about the ordering of bone modifiers changes how the IK performs in different scenarios. What else? What else? Yeah, there's so many cool things, man. Getting Jolt as a module, but there was another thing too. It wasn't the Shadow Mask. Oh yeah, no, it was. It was actually it was the physics interpolation as well, because we can actually use the physics interpolation now on client side. Embedded windows, typed dicks, Jolt, and of course, jiggle physics are the features I'm looking forward to. There was something else on the I think it was the transparent support for lightmap GL or GI. The idea of having better dynamic baked lighting with real-time lighting, like to be able to combine both. Given that 90% of my use case is going to be baked lighting inside station modules, where performance can be a key, but we're having real-time lighting from Star, Starlight, be dynamically imposed upon that baked lighting, right? So that way, stations, they perform well, all their internal modules perform well, but then we do want to have real-time lighting. Like, we still want to have real-time lighting, for any star influence, right? For a lot of different things, for, stuff outside in space, most in-space things will be real-time lighting, but, there's a use case of, the anime girl is cute, though. Enter the game. How's it going, Shadow? Yeah. But anyway, the more I use Godot, the more Godot keeps adding new cool things. Which helps, like fighting a battle. Yeah, and I don't think the NPCs, there's a lot of stuff I can show off that's working, but a lot of it is in a weird state right now because of the way multiplayer works and just the way I'm implementing. Like, this new inventory system that I'm working on changes how players have things in their hands. So, even on the server side for NPCs have to spawn in not just themselves, but they have their inventory system has to replicate. So before, everyone just had a predefined item, and because everyone has a predefined item, that item is fully synchronized anyway, right? That's just the nature of things. But now, we can go and buy, like lots of different items, and they're actually like physicalized, and we can actually like loot them, and actually interact. And we can actually like on-equip stuff, and physicalize them, right? And then we can loot it back up again and put it back in our inventory. So all of this changes not just the way the player will function, it changes how NPCs work, right? Because NPCs themselves, I know I could technically just give the NPC a weapon, but then I have to create like a different system, and I kind of have like the same system that drives the player, has an AI form that kind of drives the NPCs. And that way too, like when the NPC dies and the gun gets dropped, like the server knows exactly what physicalized items are on the NPC, and looting and everything becomes really easy, and it's like You know, the fact that it becomes ragdolled and kind of drops, and oh, there's a gun, I'm gonna grab the gun. You know, all of that stuff. Oh, and on a serious note, I wanted to say that every indie space theme game has these blindingly shiny surfaces. I don't know where I'm a snowflake, but they really ruin the experience. It's the same thing with Bloom. A lot of the stuff here that I have is only shiny because there's no materials on anything, other than this random metallic, you know, texture that I've kind of found on Ambient CG, I think it was, and then I kind of blew it up. You know, it's like the UVs are way too big. It shouldn't even be this big. But you know, everything is going to get a material pass, but it's going to be much later on into the project when a lot of stuff's working. My plan is to get a lot of systems working, and then hire an artist, and then just start kind of going through the art pipeline. But I need to, yeah, there's still a bit more I need to be done. But a lot of stuff will be playable soon. I mean, I've been doing dev builds quite often, but it's just, you know, right now a lot of refactoring and stuff. And I'm trying to redo the server, like make things a bit more headless, so I can push build on a new server that we got. I upgraded the server last month. I don't know, Pagan, did I tell you that? I think I did. I think I messaged you with it, but we're now running a new SSD only server. And I think it was like maybe $10 more per month or something like that. And it's a newer, I think we're using like a V3 Xeon before in the data center, and now we're using like a newer, I think it's like a V6. Not super new, but you know, like way better. So I want to create like a deployment solution on it to be able to kind of do some auto builds. So I want to be able to kind of just push, you know, a server build to the server, and it just automatically like deploys, and you know, I want to start really keeping up a running version of the test build. And yeah, second to that, I wouldn't mind working on a launcher, even if I can't do Delta patching. I really want to use some type of Windows version of rsync to kind of be able to like pull stuff down. But the issue is like Godot really does only give you one file to work with when it comes to updates, so things aren't really chunked. You know, you have like one, you know, a PCB or whatever they're called. And I don't think Godot even has assemblies, so I'm not sure how I can optimize the, you know, like a launcher or something that can kind of pull them back. At least you have a use. Got me a box in a data center that I'm paying for to sit here. Is that, at least you have a use? Like, oh, you have a box in the data center you're paying it for, and you're just sitting there. Yeah, well, it's running the website, you know, and a few other services. So I mean, it's always got some use, but it's like $50 a month that I'm paying. That's not really going into the project. It's just, you know, running, you know, the services. But anyway, let's go back to what we were doing, which is we're going to build a UI for the economy system. So I was going to save this as a scene under UI. This will be panel top UI. And then we'll do an H box. We can start putting in some icons. I'm using it to host stationeers with no players. I have another server for like website, Git, gotcha. Then what we'll do is we'll say that these, yeah, so let's take this button set. And then for our layout, we'll do anchor, and we'll make it full screen. We'll do full. And then that way for the buttons. So we'll say ordering. So we'll just add a bunch. So this was just going to be info. I'm just going to add a bunch of button info. Which we'll just call the inspector. Might as well. That's what it's going to be. And whatever this next test button is, I don't even know what we're going to be using it for, but just random test button that we can just kind of plug into. But we mostly just want to close and open the inspector right now. So then under our scripts, we probably don't even have a UI scripts yet. We do. So panel, top UI. Panel inspector. Stationeers is great. I haven't played it. Is it good? Panel inspector UI. Panel top UI. And I'm just exposing a lot of this because I'm going to be connecting and disconnecting a bunch of this. Sometimes it just feels like too much work being a commercial HVAC tech by trade. It's like Space Engineers and Dwarf Fortress had a wild night together. Interesting. Yeah, and then we're going to create our... because we want to just kind of have scripts on everything. We can expose as your own little modules. And like this, yeah, that's great. It'll be another floating panel. This will be our panel inspector. And this is going to be technically left to right, but we're going to put it left wide. I want to expand on fill, but we're going to use a minimum. We'll say 300. Super realistic chemistry and phases of matter simulation. Interesting. It's like a 3D Space Station 13. I've heard of it. I haven't played it. Let's do like 2. 250. Yeah, 250 seems like it'll work well. Quick load. So panel inspector UI. This will be our new inspector for our test. And then here we'll make it. Prefab UI, panel inspector UI. And now we'll add our VBox. Hey Dan, how's it going? Ready to run? I'm super tired. My bed is calling me. Have a great stream. Yeah, you too, Dan. Yeah, as long as you want the area selected that we're using for everything, can actually do that. Then we can do yeah, I'm gonna create a reference to it, but we're gonna decouple it later. don't know why YouTube chat doesn't have timestamps on it. Maybe I could turn on timestamps. I can. Alright, what are we doing? We just want to select things. We good? Are we good for selecting things? Set node. Gas giant. Yeah, so this will always select the one closest. Pirate ship, trading ship, pirate ship, trading ship, pirate ship, trading ship. Because if you get if I have the raycast, then it's too late. Too many entities. None of these entities. We really don't want to be using anything physics for this. Right, so 81, 200 and 249. Yeah, so now we have our pirate ship. So we can pull our state machine from the AI, and we can pull the inventory. Would be what I want to do once we have our ship. So what we'll do is we'll just use a little bit of reflection on the UI side of things. So we'll just say because we're just going to feed it a node 3D anyway. Yeah, so let's just do, for our inspector panel, we'll just do a class. So we're gonna display the name anyway, and then we'll just say if node is ship. Then we're gonna go. Yeah, do we want some different behaviors for this stuff? I wonder. What are these? It should be called virtual ships. What is their type? Are they just ships? Pirate ship. Okay, they are called NPC ships. And I don't think we should call them NPC ships. I think we should call them virtual ships. Oh, that's going to be a refactor. Because that's what they are. They're the virtual representation of the ship. And then we could have a player ship as a test. Or a player virtual ship. Yeah. That works. Oh, this is going to be a shitty refactor. So these are going to be virtual ships. And even like the inventory, like this, all of this is, yeah, screw it. I guess we'll just fix it. So virtual PC manager. We'll just refactor it all. Screw it. Right, so like even a lot of this stuff, we should actually just. There's no point having getters, like custom getters. We'll just make it public. And we'll do get private set. And we'll give it a default. And we'll just gotta go through a lot of these and convert them from fields. Just make ourselves suffer. Just make sure I'm refactoring. Oh, you know what we should do with this test project? We should make it multiplayer. And then these are technically supposed to be private. All of these prefabs. This is like one of the first things I wrote. when right, like these are not supposed to be exposed scenes, because we're only referencing them here in the manager itself. But in changing this, I'm going to change all the references to them. And this will be an export category. I'm going to say ship, virtual ship, prefabs. This will be our virtual ships themselves, so we can view them in the manager. But instead of having like get ships, oh, it's so annoying. Yeah, because they're all virtual ship types. I don't know why I'm separating them into their own groups, because I'm really making it just more convoluted for myself, but ships, traders, whatever, we'll just refactor, it's fine. It'll be much cleaner. And if we're gonna have them empty, yeah, we can use our new. Can I do that for just this document? Yep, I can. That's mine. This way we can just. Salvage. And then we'll do get private set. So that'll be our virtual chips that are loaded. Spawn node. This should not really be space, because I mean this could be anywhere. New ship, good ship. And this, oh yeah, and we don't need to actually do a contains. There's no point actually checking if something is in a list and then remove it if remove checks if it exists anyway. Yeah, I wonder why we're just not. I wonder why we're just not like returning the actual. I wonder why we're returning the node reference and not the virtual ship itself. Like we're doing here. Yeah, so this is now going to be our virtual NPC manager. I'm going to rename it. Actually, we're not. We're going to save it and we're going to rename it in Godot. Because it'll hopefully fix. Okay. I'm afraid hit build is going to reset all of that. Yep, totally is. Fine.
That is really good. Yeah, let's do that.
Hi. And this will be empty by default. Max 100. Yeah, so having all the defaults is fine. The NPC manager, we should probably rename it. So NPC manager, county manager. Nope, scripts are not found.
And then something that you'll find. I love that one.
Oh, because all the prefabs for the ships themselves. Mining ship. Oh, wait a second. NPC ship. Ah, right, because I didn't actually rename it in Visual Studio. Virtual ship. Yay, it kept its information.
One benefit for me to get high.
Let me see if all the other ships did. So
Very,
security.
very well.
Yep.
It's very, but it's been, I've been like it for years. I
Mm,
just,
yeah, if you're ever renaming,
I've actually done it. I've done it. I used to,
if you're ever renaming a class
yeah, and
in C
I
Sharp,
always
name
said
it and get a. Okay.
Hey, Doc.
Here's they're good. They're good. Hi. Why are they highlighted by default? Weird. Oh, because that's the default they're all based upon. Gotcha. See how performant this is? Mining ship 28. What is that ship? I wonder if renaming it, resizing it actually messes up my. Oh, I never thought about that. Okay, so we need to get the item inventories displaying. I also need to get the volumes selectable. Maybe even like a search of sorts. Gas mining ship. I'm gonna select the gas giant. The UI. You're looking for a virtual NPC manager. And then what we can do, yeah, these can be kind of self-sufficient. I'm gonna add an animation player to this thing. No, not size. Position. Hooray, why didn't that keyframe update? Yeah, it's still same animation. Not what I want. Oh, I'll just do weight. How do one do a scene tree weight again? Just a scene tree timeline. Alright, global scene tree timeline. Whatever. We're squirreling, chat. I want to see how well the animations would be. I want to make something like super zippy. It works, and we just hide it by default. Maybe we want to make it shown by default. Now, inspector. Yeah, we can just set properties on this. The chat is so chill. So many viewers, everyone just working on their own thing. Yeah, it's not like the most, you know, entertaining right now. It's just work. Am I like pressing it twice? Oh, am I getting the release? Yeah, I'm getting like a double press. Oh yeah, so maybe we should only trigger it on the release. I think there's a button up. On inspector, button up. Just to make sure that it actually toggles. Yeah, that might be a little bit more stable. Oh yeah, it's because of the time. Yeah, okay. What we can do to make sure the animation is finished when we're toggling. I was using this rate timer. I think we can use animation player to get animation speed. Get playing speed, get duration? No. It's the blend time. Must have to actually get the animation. Track length? Yeah. And I guess get animations by name. So let it finish and then hide. I don't even really need to hide it if I'm, you know, it's nice to actually do it. Yeah, and then by doing that, I can now just have any artist, you know, like mess around with what we do with the animation. Because it'll play it, hey, Novikin. He has a beard, looks good. Yeah, so then we'll just create another animation. This time, everyone not so Blender, that's good. What are you working on? Or what are you working on these days? Are you still doing any ships or anything? You remembered? Awesome. Where is... Let's do... Visibility... Modulate. Yeah, and what we'll do is on the very end of this, because we're showing, we're going to keyframe Positive canvas color does not affect children. Does self-modulate affect children? No. I don't know. We're gonna key the modulate anyway. Then we're gonna come back here. We're gonna key it again, and we're gonna go in this time. And we're gonna make it transparent. So alpha all the way down. Fades into existence like a blade. Oh, let me see. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. I love Gundam. And this is the color version? That's awesome. Man, I haven't watched a Gundam series in so long. So anyway, by tying in just an animation player to the individual panel, so we you know, the actual fading and, you know, like however we want it, whatever we want to do with it on the animation side, we can have artists go in and change it later. But I will, yeah, because we could do 1 second, but then increase the speed, or we could kind of go a little bit shorter with it. So maybe we'll do like 1.25. Okay. We'll call that good. And we'll just test the UI. Took me like a year and a half to get it looking correctly. That's awesome. Look at that. Nice little fade out, fade in. And I'll take all the work that I'm doing on this. I'll apply it to a tool that I'm working on called Space Edit. And Space Edit is like an in-game... Oh, actually, here, let me... Because what I want it to do is have everything editable in the game, even on multiplayer, for like developing like a developer environment. So like if we go into Space Edit and run it, yep, still working on it. Nope, that's not it. Well, that's not the test scene. This is. So this is a custom shader I made, like a grid system. And yeah, there we go. Right, so I can actually move around. And the idea being is same thing. We still have an inspector, and we can kind of move the grid kind of up and down. The idea is as I'm moving around, I can either hold Shift or Alt, and we can kind of move up and down and kind of place things from the side menu, or click on them and inspect them. So this will ultimately be like a space editing tool. So I'll merge a lot of this kind of stuff together. Like once we're not just testing out this economy thing. And I also want to, can we copy the main theme? Settings, theme. I think we can, because the fonts are in the same place. I learned how to do something in Blender called like object linking. Yes. Yeah, instead of using like Shift D to duplicate, use Alt D. It really, really saves on performance. Because it's the same mesh data block. Where are we? Yeah. Settings and thing. Okay, so let's do create settings. Themes. And also learned how to render animation. Cool. And default okay, that'll do. Alright, so if I apply that theme to the whole UI, maybe do it on the UI. Let's see. Yeah, no, it has me under control. Maybe there's a global theme. And we apply a global theme. Oh, we can. Cool. Although that's going to be default font for everything now. Which is fine. So then on each of our HUD, I'll step up your computer for the grass. Cool. Using the particle system. Oh yeah, no, the theme is there. Cool. Tree, subtree. Yeah, there's the font size is a bit too big. Okay, continuing on. So let's make this a little bit more easier to deal with by adding a margin container. And then inner margin container, let's do anchors, do full. And then we'll do margin left, 10 pixels. And we get 18 pixels. Right. Just want enough space to. Yeah, canvas speaking for me. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause this is more of a menu header. This could be like a. Yeah, because we could do something. Yeah, we could do a VBox at the root level. Mhm. You've been building Gundam model kits, like in real life? Or just like in Blender? Oh, cool. There's no glue required because it's all snap fit. Ah, cool. Yeah, I that's probably the thing I hate the most about model kits is decals. Putting on little decals at the end, getting glue on something, and you just ruin everything, like planes and stuff. That and the glue. Like I've after melting old engines, but some of the old like Rebel kits, like way back. Hey, Lance. For the Gundam 3 model, I have plans to make it fully operational. So it's sort of like a startup and shutdown. Cool. Lance, we're working on a we're working on the economy today. This will be the inventory. I don't know if we really don't want to do like button. We'll just do like label. We'll do label. Label. Commodity name. Commodity amount. Hey, Inform. Awesome. I'm looking forward to testing stuff again. I'm working tonight, but I want to dive in. But I have a few hours. Nice. Yeah, I'm like in the middle of a bunch of things, which is very annoying because there's just so much like happening at once right now. So I have like, let me get these auto extending. Let's see. Let's look at ice. And the quantity amount will be like 200 units of ice. So let's do this at 2. This should be full. Are you taking a hold of you again? Add taking a hold of you? Add? ADD? Yeah, so these need to expand. So we really want these not expanding no matter what. So these are going to be technically right aligned, and then these will be auto expanded. So if we do layout and we auto expand this one, and then we shrink on this one, shrink and not expand. Yeah, and then this. Should be good. Yeah, perfect. And then for every 2 sets of these, when the commodity's up, will we be able to like take that pizza delivery bike out for a spin? Oh, what do you call it? The scooter. Yeah, I mean, grids are weird. Yeah, so let me just call this one iron. Iron. So it should force this one to move over. And if this one becomes short, yeah. That's probably not bad, really. The auto scroll. And then this should technically all be tiny anyway. I really need to adjust. Theme overrides should actually be applied to the whole thing. You'll probably do a style for it. Either way, for now, I just want to override these. Yeah, so we'll need to... Yeah, I don't know how I want to do with that. Let's see. Yeah, and then depending on what type of object it is, we might need to do something. I wonder if I should do like a dynamic properties one that kind of shows the production consumption. Last post, this is the mobile suit pilot school where you learn to pilot the mobile suit before getting into the machine. Oh, cool. Are these like the classroom desks? Cool. Still a work in progress. So I want it. You know me, I can't sit lying with things for very long. It's all good. Yeah, so depending on the type. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. We just have like kind of a floating info. And you can kind of like dynamically change. Kind of like the inspector, but a little bit different. Panel, cover. Is this a trade route simulation? Yeah, this is gonna be. I've been playing a lot of X4 Alliance, and I've been really Unity being weird with a lot of their stuff, and the freedom of it being fully open source and just being able to change it to meet the needs. Yeah, X4 has been influencing a lot of stuff right now. Yeah, it's just panel hover UI. Let's create a script for it. And I'm going to make this anchor to the world space of whatever we're selecting. So this will be more like, I want to hover over this thing and kind of see in real time. Because it's just, all this stuff I'm building now is for debugging. We're going to debug this economy and make cool UIs and stuff kind of while we're doing it. Not in Godot. I find in Godot there's a lot of predefined elements that kind of really help. Like, you can do a lot by just stacking different types of panels and buttons. You can set, it's almost like HTML in a sense. It's a lot easier in Unity. I was working on a state machine that accepts different delta values. You can do like sort of an onion skin idea where objects further away can update less frequently. Oh yeah, cool, but still we use the same script structure. They can get delta values from timers, processor physics process functions, etc. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna make a custom theme for the panels, so they're unified by default instead of trying to go in and change some of the. Panel cover UI, and then all I'm going to do, because we have a reference in the inspector of what we're inspecting, I think because this thing is actually. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's give this thing, when we actually set the node, let's do a public. Because what I want for my mobile suit is to have like suit readouts and energy levels and damage and all kinds of MFDs. Like how Star said it does with ships, gotcha. I don't know if that counts as UI. Yeah, it does. Just switch on node tank. There's a station. And then this hover UI. And just grab the UI. Because the hover UI is always going to be just here under the main UI script. I don't really need to like set it, you know, I can just have it go, hey, register it. I've seen a lot of inspiration from like Gundam Seed and Gundam Destiny. It was Seed that opened my eyes as how I want the cockpit to come together, or how the cockpit goes together. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to like Harmony Gold would kill me, but I'd love to make like a Robotech game or something more akin to like Macross. That'd be awesome. Yeah, it'd be kind of a lot of money, like a lot of time. Yeah, and then what we're looking for is we can grab the node to unprocess. We can grab a node reference. From our UI, because our UI in UI panel inspector, inspected node. I met someone who was working on a Zoids game, but it has been taken down. The Zoids models look amazing. Yeah, that's the issue, right? So we're gonna just grab that from our inspector, and if it exists, first we'll do a isVal instance on it. Otherwise, we're gonna return. And if that's the case, then we're good. So we need to kind of project the space of where the thing would be from the camera. So we really, yeah, let's do a private. Cache our main camera. And this early can't, so if there's no camera. I have to go steal code for myself. Where's this awesome background track from? I'd have to send it to you, but it is a it was a YouTube album that I downloaded. It's all psychedelic space rock music. Yeah, camera position, unprojected. Yeah, this is all we need. And we'll do our global position, and then we'll set this main thing's position because we are the hover UI. Scamming. So if this works, this hover will just ask the inspector, right, if there's a node that needs to be inspected. And anything that is targeted, this thing will actually just attach itself to it in screen space. And this will help us, know that it is the right thing that we're actually inspecting. And we'll see how it goes under the economy side of things. So if we select something, wait, what? Oh yeah, because it's moving. Right, because ideally I want to be able to show the consumption, and I don't want it to zoom, right? It's always going to be the same size because we need to be able to read the information. But if we select the ship, we should be able to see that ship's information of what that ship is doing. And my thought process is, while even hovering, the stuff would change, right? Because we want to know what the inventory is, and there'll be kind of different ones. So many ships. There's 1,000 ships that run the economy simulation. So like simultaneously, there's salvage ships going after dead ships. We have gas mining ships mining the gas. These are like gas volumes, and all of that's being brought to this refinery. And what's crazy is every one of these ships have a virtual inventory. Have you seen? Yeah, I've seen Star Trucker. Star Trucker's cool. Everything's just happening super fast because that was kind of the intention right now, is to kind of really kind of push it and just make sure that it actually all runs. The soundtrack. Do you know, Lance, if the Star Trek was custom? Like, did they get people doing that, or is it like all like did they make the music themselves for it? You also need to be able to like toggle the camera movement. But my thought process, I can hook onto a ship and let the ship go do its thing. And we can kind of watch and see what it's doing. Oh yeah, we should actually we should toggle we should probably make it I think they use some small bands or music groups. The soundtrack lists several common artists. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like in universe or actual bands. Cool. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll adjust the visibility of this thing, so we'll hide it by default. We'll say, hey, hover UI, you're not really going to be visible. and your visibility will be tied to this being valid. So we're going to return, sure, because it's not a valid instance anymore. But anytime that we would return, we're going to kill the visibility. And really it only needs to be visible when it's valid and actually moving. Oh yeah, because then we can yeah, and if it's not in this case too, we'll say it's not. So if we look around, it'll hide behind it. Looks like the band names are part of the game. It's top quality. Whoever did it, nice. Yeah, so now we turn around. And then I'll update the UI and physics process because I don't want to be querying the ship so much for what information it has if we're going to be displaying that information live. And then we can build custom displays. Because all of these have the same inventory, so we could build a unified display for all inventory items. Like this can be an actual prefab itself for an inventory that we can just kind of instantiate and use. Let's make so our gas volumes. Let's put these on the plane because I can't select anything that's not on the horizon plane right now. Yeah, and then for our gas volumes, let's add a selectable, an object selector. And let's make it, let's duplicate this for selected. And we're just going to add an override geometry. Oh yeah, Gundam Wing was the first of the series that I watched personally. It was on I think it was YTV back when I was in high school, and I remember staying up. Oh man, it must have been almost 3 a.m. To actually watch it because it was late night YTV. It was brutal. And then our selector node does all the job of doing this. We don't need to do this. All we have to do is literally add a selector node, and as long as the gas volume here it's from an iSelectable, it'll just work. You're excited to assemble it? Oh, I just bought a Wing Zero EY Vert KAMG kit. Cool. I have one here, but it's someone sold it to me, and it was missing the points. Endless balls. Yeah, it's that's a good. Oh. See, it's missing the. I don't know if that one's gonna come through. But yeah, eventually I was gonna 3D print the replacement, but never got around to it. You can live right here. Yeah, my favorite's probably Death Sight. That was my favorite from that whole series. I thought Troll was pretty cool. Yeah, so now gas volumes should be selectable, hopefully. Yep. That's what we want to do. We want to anything that has an inventory of the same inventory type, right? Where it's just a commodity resource and a number of units. I want to display like a custom, just hey, what does it have in real time? Then we're only ever updating like one panel, but we can change the context of where we're pulling the data. So we can like we should be able to watch. You know, we should be able to select the ship and have the inventory be up here. And then while we're watching the inventory of the ship that we've selected, we should be able to kind of like, you know, just select the volume and just kind of see it kind of decrease. So we know that things are all moving around. But I don't think the gas volumes are producing. I don't know if I put the responsibility on the gas volume to do it or on the planet. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if we're gonna get all gas volumes for the economy manager anyway, maybe the economy manager takes care of all that. The only thing downside of all those trade lanes, all those predictable routes, sure, awfully tempting for pirates. Yep. That's why there needs to be alternate like ways, because the best way to travel to anything is kind of beeline to it, you know, but that doesn't work well. But that's why the system is designed to be 3D, because the second everything starts orbiting and rotating and moving around and isn't static, you're going to notice something different about the game. especially if there's like a refinery or like an asteroid field, and like things are kind of moving. What becomes the most economic route could be like not the most economic route, every 6 hours, right? Because distances between neighboring, celestial objects change. Oh no, what is this debug? Oh, something's looking for inventory. 99.99 for your own private trade lane, right? Yeah, so what's are we trying to pull an inventory? It doesn't exist. Node not found inventory relative to ship. All these ships don't have an inventory anymore. What? Or what's calling an inventory? No reference exception in economy simulation on the. Oh, right, because we don't have it running right now. Because I'm just loading. Yeah, all of these have an inventory. Commodity inventory. Yeah, so let's do a few different ones that we can display. And we'll display them based upon certain dependencies being met. So hover UI, we've never saved it out yet. We're going to do that now. Prefans, UI, hover UI. And then we'll go into this. And our first one is going to be the inventory levels. I guess we'll do the kind of same thing we did before, right? We'll do color rect. So we'll do box, color rect in it, set our layout to be full, so that way the color rect can be driven by its minimum, which will be 20, and then we'll put the label in the color rect. That'll be like info. And then this will just be blank. So I'm trying to forget my state machine to get something a little more detailed than A to B, but it's working out. I'm thinking, Lance, we're going to do freelancers. So after playing X4, I love highways, but I also hate them. I visually hate the highways. So my thought process is we'll have the ring gates, which are the normal gates between star systems. And I thought about the idea of having like a quantum boost system, so more like the freelancer style jump gates, but just as a kind of like a network that does like a very quick, you can kind of get around with it. But if someone were to shut it down, you know what I mean? It'd be a bit of a net, you know what I mean? But it'd be a highway of sorts, right? Where it would be highly scanned, but it'd be really good for volume. Oh wow, that's nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And we want to do like a triangle of sorts, maybe a sprite or something, so I can like anchor the corner that's actually going to be looking at. So we'll just do a control node. And we'll expand. And then we need to do another little inventory screen that we can kind of... Yeah, that's what I think we're gonna go with as an option, because I think it'd be cool. Yeah, I just need a list, to be honest, for now. Like an itemized list. Even if I like paginated the the items that's in it. Because we can do a 2-column list. But we'll do yeah, let's do an H box. Put the list in first. So this will split in half. Yeah, so then this one, we won't expand it, but we'll do a minimum. We'll use a minimum. Of like 100. 200 is too much. 150. And that might have to be like really small. Yep, and we'll just do a label. We gotta just go out of it. Huh? Just want you after this, but not. I'm basically going with jump points between stars, trade lanes between major locations, and appropriate place. Because that was my reasoning, right? Having these kind of like quantum accelerators is like, what is a trade lane? You know what I mean? It's just a natural occurrence of people going like the direct path, right? It would have to be something that would be a reason to do it, you know, or a reason to move along it. Yeah, the theme overrides are annoying. But this needs to be like 10. Something like very small. So if we do 10 for all these, and let's open this up and give it a mock. So item, ice. Money. Fire. Oh, but the only thing is though, the lists, even though they have columns, they don't behave. Oh, they do auto expand though, and they actually do. That's kind of nice. Same column widths, fixed column widths, like 50. And then they'll just kind of dot, dot, dot if they get too much. No, they're just like overriding. It would be nice if they just kind of overrun, trim. Yeah, do that. Multi-mode. Max text lines. 2? No. What's the point of having the columns if it's gonna really kind of... Yeah, it's like it auto stacks the columns. There's really no point having multiple column lists. Fixed column. Oh yeah, okay. So that's what it's doing. It's a list, but it's just randomly. Okay, okay. So not what I really wanted. Yeah, so we'll create a custom one for this. That we'll just feed the commodities into. And it'll create a display. And it'll work. It'll be cool to be able to watch like production and consumption live. Right, because I can actually put like a chart in there and we can do like we can kind of watch its profitability. Yeah, no. Yeah, maybe it can be like more transparent. Anyway, guys, it is 12. I'm gonna go raid someone. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Thanks again, people like Lance. Got a lot of long-term Patreon members, man. You guys are awesome. I'm really hoping now this month, I think for most part I'm settled into my new job, so I'm pretty much used to everything now. So stage 2 now is gonna be finding an artist that I can hire full time to just do 3D. It'll be so good, man. Just knock out stuff while I'm getting a lot of these systems finished. Yeah, that's what I want to do, like real-time charts. Thanks for streaming, Rev. I'll poke you later, I have a few questions. Oh, let me take a look at that kit. Oh, that's a nice one too. Yeah, last Gundam series I watched was Gundam Unicorn, which is so weirdly named, but man, so good. Such a good series. Quellius, Evan. Anyone in Godot? Hypnotic. The robot shooter. Let's go to Quellius. And we'll see you guys later. Let me end it here on